Hello, welcome back to Learn Oikonomia. Today we discuss the concept of sense capability approach with respect to the development of this approach. So we have been continuously saying that the concept has been developed by a famous economist, Amartya Sen. And for the same concept, he could receive Nobel Prize in Economics in the year of 1998. And Sen has actually some kind of extensive background in the arena of development economics, social choice theory, and it by taking into consideration all these kinds of things, he was awarded with the prestigious Nobel Prize for Economics in the year of 1998. And it was his analysis regarding the economic scenario, and it was his philosophy that it was his philosophy after understanding the prevailing economic approaches during the 1980s that made him to develop a new approach known as capability approach. And coming to the background of capability approach and its development, this is something which can be pertinent to the understanding of sense capability approach. This is because there exists some kind of complementarity between sense contributions to different fields and his development of capability approach. When it comes to capability approach, this has been considered as one of the influential as well as comprehensive contribution made by Sen to the arena of economics, and he has written a famous work, Development as Freedom, in the year of 1999, which has synthesized in an accessible way many of the contribution that he had given to the arena of economics, and this would be including the different types of contributions, including the technical ones. And this person, Sen, had introduced the concept of capability in his channel lectures on equality of what. And then he went on to elaborate the concept of capability approach in his subsequent publications during the 80s and 90s. He could note that capability approach has got some kind of strong conceptual connection with the understanding of human flourishing made by Aristotle, and also the contributions made by Smith and Karl Marx. When it comes to Marx, this person has made a lot of discussions regarding the importance of functionings and capability for human well-being. And Sen, he had often cited a Smithian analysis of relative poverty in wealth of nations in terms of how a country's wealth and different cultural norms can affect, or this how these affected the material goods, and this is something that he understood in terms of necessity, or how these were understood to be a necessity. So this is something that this person, Sen, has already studied. And Sen could also cite it when it comes to Marx. He had cited the foundational concern with respect to the replacement of replacing the domination of certain circumstances and chances of a person's life by domination of something known as chances and circumstances. In this video, we'll be discussing the concerns that Sen could see by dealing with his own understanding of the economic scenario that persisted before his contribution of capability approach. And Sen could see that individual would be differing, and they would differ greatly in their abilities, and people would be having different ability to convert the same resources into valuable tools, and this is what he could say as beings and tools. And he had given some examples to this. He could say that with physical disabilities, what happens is that this is something that may need some specific goods to attain mobility, and for pregnant women, they will be having some specific nutritional requirements which is very much needed to attain good health. So evaluation is something that focuses on means without considering what particular people can do with them, and this is something which is insufficient. So this is what this person Sen was trying to say. The second concern which has made Sen to go for his capability approach is that he could see that people would be internalizing the harshness of their circumstances, so that they don't they do not need any desire what they can never expect to it attain. And this is considered to be some kind of adaptive preferences in which people who are objectively very sick may, for example, still declare and believe that their health is fine. So this is what we usually do when we have some fever kind of things. Even we have a fever or high temperature or whatever it may be, we still say that if somebody asks you how are you, you still say that yes, I'm fine. Or as if somebody asks you on after your sickness, when you go rejoins your work, if somebody asks you now how are you feeling right now, you say that, oh, okay, it's okay, I'm fine. This is what you say. So therefore evaluation that focuses on a subjective mental metrics is something insufficient. And this is insufficient without considering whether that matches with what a neutral observer would perceive as their objective circumstance. And this is what Sen was trying to establish. Now, coming to the next concern that has made Sen to go for his capability approaches, whether or not people take up the options they have. The fact that they don't have any valuable options is significant. And he had given some examples also. Even if the nutritional state of people who are fasting and starving is the same, we have to see that the fact that fasting is a choice not to eat, and this should be recognized. When you consider these two categories, the people who starve and people who fast, they are both are hungry, but the people who fast have deliberately decided not to take food. But in the case of people who starve, they don't have resources to go for food. That is why they are starving, they are not taking food. And evaluation must be sensitive to both these actual achievements, which he had considered as functionings and capability, achievements and effective freedom. Now, coming to the fourth important concern that has made Sen to go for capability approaches, that he could understand that reality is complicated and evolution of reality should reflect that complexity. Rather than taking a shortcut by excluding all sort of information from consideration in advance, this is something that we have to do. We have to take into consideration this complexity when it comes to reality. And here also he has given an example. He says that although it may seem obvious that happiness matters for evaluation of how people are doing, it is not at all obvious that it should be the only aspect that ever matters. And so nothing else should be considered. That is why Sen has given importance to evaluation of how well people are doing. And he says that this must seek to be as open-minded as possible. This is something that has led to deliberate under-theorization of the concept of capability approach. And that has been the source of many criticism. And it could be something which is motivated by the development of some other alternatives to capability approach. And that's all about the development of capability approach. I hope you could understand some idea with respect to the development of capability approach and the concerns that affected Sen and made him to go for a new approach when it comes to understanding people's well-being, functions and doing. And that is how he had developed the concept of capability approach. So I request you to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos, and you can be a part of my Telegram channel and Telegram group to discuss your doubts. I'll be providing the links of these in the description box. Thank you for watching.